mental health really controls their academics. If they're not in the right headspace, do you think they're really going to do academics? Do you really
No.
think that they're not? I talk to them as they are my kids. I don't talk at them, I talk to them. I'm there to listen. I mean, seriously, that's just a lot of these kids tell me all the time, Miss Tiffany, thank you for just listening. Because a lot of times they say their parents don't listen, they don't have time to listen.
Us as educators need to be ringing the alarm bell. I continuously say it. We have a mental health crisis. We have a mental health crisis with children. Like, we have a mental health crisis in this country.
We do.
That is not, in my opinion, being treated the way it should be, or
But
not being handled the way it should be. Welcome to the Truth Meter Podcast. This is your boy, T Mac, and I have a special guest today. This is Tiffany Richardson. She works as a prevention specialist team lead. How you doing, Tiff?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. And she's also a friend of the family. And I've known Tiff, how long have I known you? What, forever?
Forever. Yes, your family adopted me. Yes.
We adopted her. She's worked for my brother's foundation, his food truck. We've known each other for years, forever. And she is my first interview for this podcast, this iteration of my podcast. And I am so happy to have you here today. The reason why I have you here today, because I believe that your role is essential for our students and their mental health. So can you please tell the audience what you do in the school system and what type of services you provide for our students?
Sure. Again, I am a prevention specialist team lead. So you like, what is that? Nobody's really ever heard of it. So I consider it to be a student advocate. Kids come to me and talk to me about their problems. Whether it's relationships with their boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's problems at home, problems with teachers, problems, if they're trying to get a job, if they need help with their schoolwork, anything like that, I am there for. Everything that they talk about with me is confidential. Now, here's the other part to that. Only time that I break that confidentiality is if they are a harm to themselves. And what I mean by that is if they think about unalignment themselves or anything like that. If they are harm to others, if they come to me, Miss Tiffany, I'm going to go beat up this person, do this. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Or somebody's trying to harm them. They came and tell me, Keisha, Ray, Tom, Joy, whoever, trying to beat them up after school.
Right.
And as I tell them, I become your parent. I become the mom. I'm going to get your parents involved. I get the school involved, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure you're safe.
Okay. What type of situations have you dealt with, again, without giving too much information?
Number one, mental health. That's the biggest
Thank
thing.
you.
That's why I was getting mental health.
Yeah.
Mental health. Another one is their identity. It's so much going on with that. With the new law now, a lot of times the kids were able to, they might be Jack or Diane at home, but at school, the roles might be reversed. Jack might be Diane and Diane might be Jack. And that's what the school knows. But now with the new law that came out last year, if a child identifies under a different name, you have to report that to the parent.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
So a lot of kids are very nervous about that because a lot of times the parents don't know, that was kind of their free space at school, and a lot of teachers know who they are. Second, relationships.
Yep.
They are big on, I want to be in a relationship. At 11, 12, 13 years old. That is the biggest thing. And the problem with that with me is, but you don't know how to read, write, or your grades are not where they should be for you to be in a relationship.
Yes. I mean, and piggybacking on the mental health situation, how closely connected are students' mental health and their academic achievement? Because, I know that's a loaded question.
It is.
It's a loaded question, but a lot of times, and I'll speak on this consistently, students come to us with trauma. You know this.
Yes.
And students come to us with the problems of all of their societal ills. And then they come into the school system. And we, as educators, are not trained to deal with that. That's what
Right.
people need to understand. We are there to teach students. We are not there to be therapists. We are not there to be counselors. And so how does their mind state, how does their mental health, how does their trauma affect their ability to learn in school? And then what is your role in helping them learn in school?
My role is a big part. I think without prevention specialists in the school system, that especially in the schools that I work for,
Mhm.
I have 5 under my belt. So I have a
Five
team,
5 schools.
5 schools.
Okay.
So it's crazy because their mental health really controls their academics. If they're not in the right headspace, do you think they're really going to do academics? Do you really
No.
think that they're not? So with me, I talk to them as they are my kids. I don't talk at them, I talk to them. I'm there to listen.
What a novel concept.
I mean, seriously, that's just and the thing is, a lot of these kids tell me all the time, Miss Tiffany, thank you for just listening.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they say their parents don't listen, they don't have time to listen, or their guardian. You have a lot of kids that we see that are more in foster care now. So, in talking with
Yes.
them, that
Yes.
trauma right there is enough within itself.
Yes.
So, just being that listening ear, I don't judge. I don't. I sit there and talk to them like they are my kids, but I want them to make wise decisions.
Yeah.
So I kinda put it back on them. Well, what do you think you can do different? What do you think you could do better? And they said, "Well, nobody's ever asked me that." Or I always ask them, "Well, why do you feel like you're dealing with this trauma? What are you going through that got you here?" The biggest thing is too, these kids do ask for help and the parents think that it's a joke, that they're doing it for attention, and they're not.
No, absolutely not.
Right. And with my company, we offer therapy services within schools, so the parent doesn't have to miss work. They don't have to do any of that. We are offering it right here in school, and sometimes the parent, "Nah," because they don't wanna fill out the paperwork. How about that? They
So
don't.
let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Because this needs to be said. I'm going to say it. If we as educators, and you're an educator,
Yes.
if we as educators identify an issue in a child, it is incumbent upon the parents.
Mhm. It is.
I'm going to say it again. It is incumbent upon the parents to work with us to help said child.
Listen, I even offer the parents,
Mm,
"Hey, I will help you with the paperwork." Did you hear what I said? "I will help
Yeah.
you with the paperwork. I will sit down. We can go through it together." I said the longest it'll take maybe 20, 30 minutes. It's just the initial paperwork. We've shortened it
Right.
down because it was scaring parents. When I saw the packet, I was like, I probably wouldn't fill all this out either. We
Yeah.
shortened it down. So we made it to where it's just 5 sheets of initial paperwork. But the
Right.
thing is, once we take it home, it's the parent, "Oh, Imma fill it out. Imma do it. Imma send it back." 9 times out of 10, the paperwork doesn't come back unless the parent offers it. So, a lot of times now, what they are doing in one of my school systems is, say, for instance, the kid gets suspended or possible expulsion, the kid has to go through therapy and the parents are responsible to do it. If the kid does not, the parents do not fill out the paperwork or anything, it comes back on the parent.
Right. Now, I want to be clear on something, Tiff.
Sure.
You all are trained to provide therapeutic services. Am I saying that correctly?
So this is the steps. It's prevention,
Okay.
intervention, and therapy. So
Okay.
when a
There you go.
kid comes to see me and a kid, if they're coming just to talk about a relationship or problem at home or something, they can see me. Now,
Yes.
if they come in and say, "Hey, Miss Tiffany, today I'm gonna go run in traffic." What? No, 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 no. I have to so then I have to let them know, "Hey, since you said that, here we go. These are the steps that I have to go through. I'm gonna have to call home to your parents, but first, I'm gonna have to call my boss. I'm gonna have to get therapy involved. I need to do an assessment on you."
Correct.
So
Correct.
we have to do an assessment. I have to ask 5 questions to see where they're at.
Yep.
Then I have to get therapy. Therapy's gonna come in and do the assessment. We
Yep.
might have to send them to Children's, and it goes from there. But here we go again. Are you ready for this one? And sending them to Children's, even though we say, "Hey, this child is at risk. This child just said this." Children's does an assessment and might say, "Well, they're okay. We're gonna go ahead and send them home."
Right.
That's the part that we're like, "Are you serious?"
Been there, done that. Yeah.
But we had a kid who wrote a full suicidal note front and back. We did the necessary steps. We sent them to children sent them home. And we were like, but they had a whole like front, like when I say from the top of the line, front, bottom of the line to where, you even got to write on the side. And children said, well, they're okay. We talked to them. We're going to send them home. We're not going to hospitalize them. And we were
Well, see,
all like, are you serious?
well, see, Tiff, this is where us as educators need to be ringing the alarm bell.
We do. We do.
And I know we do because I continuously say it, we have a mental health crisis. We have a mental health crisis with children. We have a mental health crisis with educators. We have a mental health crisis with Black males. We have a mental health crisis in this country.
We do.
That is not, in my opinion, being treated the way it should be, or not being handled the way it should be. And so when you talk about that, Tiff, sending a child back, that really bothers me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But it's the stigma within the families too.
Of course,
Because,
yes.
we were always taught what goes on in this house stays in this house.
And we got to get out of that.
We do, because some of these kids really need an outlet and somebody to talk to because they are seeing a lot of stuff. When we were growing up and the way our parents was, when our parents told us, hey, the party's downstairs, you upstairs, this is where you stay. We knew we stayed. Now it's the parents and the kids are partying together, the parents and the kids. I could never imagine that. Never.
Yeah.
We would have to be grown kids before, but it's a whole different era. I've had kids who tell me how they cuss in front of their parents. I've
Yeah.
had kids who told me how they smoke with their parents.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
And it's like, are you serious? Yeah, what you mean, Miss Tiffany? And I'm like,
Well, here's the other piece. We can't legislate parenting.
We can't.
But we need to have some classes on parenting. I'm sorry.
We do. And we offer it, but again, don't even know how to put this into words. It's egregious because just because you're a parent doesn't make you a parent. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Just because you birth a child into this world doesn't mean you know how to take care of said child.
Right,
And
because a lot of these kids are having kids because remember, for quite some time it was the end thing to have a baby, but you didn't understand what it was to have a baby when this baby was waking up at 2, 3, and 4 in the morning every 4 hours, and you like, what did I get myself into?
Yep.
So that's why a lot of these grandparents are raising kids now because these young kids didn't even know how to raise themselves. And and then you got the parents, I ain't raising these kids, it's my time.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is.
And people think that we're taking shots at parents. No, we're for kids. See, there's a couple things. When we always talk about let's do what's best for kids and or students, but there's a lot of times that you've been in education long enough to know that there are decisions made that are not best for kids and or students, i.e. sending a child home from children when clearly there's an issue.
But this is my thing too. I'm holding, and I gotta say this, I'm sorry. I have to hold certain educators responsible because some of these educators really don't take it serious.
Yeah, for sure.
They put targets on certain races back, or they automatically believe that these kids, they are a product of their environment and they don't want to help them, or they don't want to listen to them, or they don't believe them. I deal with it all the time. And it's a sad situation because then when it comes up, it was the truth. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But you've already done the damage.
You've already done the damage. But you said something that's profound. Just the kids, they don't have a choice. They are a product of their environment. They grow up in that nonsense and they're only exhibiting the behaviors that they have learned.
Yeah, but the thing is, you might have 3 kids. 2 of them might represent that behavior, but 1 of them might not, but you're still going to link that last one to that behavior, which is bad. Which is bad because all kids are not the same. Now
No,
saying
for
that they
sure.
are, but you're still linking this one kid to that bad behavior, and they're telling you, "I'm not like my siblings." Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
And the thing is, but the thing is you never gave this kid a chance. You never gave this kid, "Hey, how are you? How are you doing?" Okay, yes, such and such is my brother or my sister, but you already labeled them as a nuisance,
Yeah.
as having issues, and this kid might not have not one issue at all.
Yeah, facts, facts. Now, one other question I wanted to ask you is the company you work for, and I'm gonna tie this in. Are they a nonprofit?
Yes. So I work for South Community Behavioral Health, but as of July the 1st, Primary Health Solutions merged with us.
Okay,
So the merger, so it's like we're both, but it's Primary Health Solutions. And as of January 1st, it'll be completely Primary Health Solutions. So
okay.
everything is still the same. We still have our office. And Moraine is still, you can still walk in, you can still do
Hmm.
everything. A lot of people don't know we take all insurances from
Okay,
Medicaid
good.
to private to everything. So I do try to help my students every way we can. Another thing that I hate that our government has done right now is we used to be able to, if they were 14 and over, we
Yeah.
used to be able to at least give them 6 sessions to try to at least help them and everything. Now that has been cut out.
So let me tell you why I asked that. I asked that question because I know there are a couple other companies Eastway that were nonprofit. I know that because of the lack of funding here in Ohio,
Mhm.
some of these ancillary services that you all provide are being cut.
We've had some programs cut. We have.
Right. Okay. So
We
so here,
Yeah.
just hold tight. Hold tight. Let me. I'm weaving a narrative here real
Okay,
quick.
go ahead.
This is for educators.
Okay.
So, because these ancillary services that our students need to be successful in school, particularly our students in urban areas and rural areas.
Mhm.
Notice I said rural areas as well, and some suburban areas. But at
Thank
any
you.
rate, they're being cut. So it's incumbent upon educators to vote the right way in the best interest
Mhm.
of our students and our community. So, in other words, let me break this down and I'm going to let you speak. Let me break
Okay.
this down in the most elementary terms that I can for those people who may see this. 1 + 1 = 2. You vote for this person who's in for the best interest of our students that won't cut funding and that will provide funding for social programs that will help our students. There are better outcomes. 1 + 1 = 3. No, it doesn't. You get what I'm saying?
Understand what you're saying, but a lot of educators don't know that there are free trainings. I'm gonna say it again, free trainings offered in Montgomery County, Greene County, Butler County. Adamus in Montgomery County offers training for free. Some
The
classes,
Adams board, yeah.
Adamus board, yes, to
Mm-hmm.
where you can learn how to take certain classes to deal with from emotional first aid, adult and child. They have an abundance of things that you can take for free. You heard what I said? Free.
It's free, y'all.
Free. That you
Yes.
can take. There are, and I see a lot of job center people there. I see a lot of from Dayton Children's, different places. So there are resources out here for your educators to take.
Yes.
Also, I'm gonna put a plug. Professional Development Day at these schools. I spoke at a couple professional developments and giving them the resources
Okay.
about that. Last year, I even taught my SOS and my emotional first aid to the teachers so they can understand what I'm teaching and how I'm teaching it and understand for these kids. So I taught
Yes.
it to them like they were kids. And the teachers was like, oh my gosh, now I'm understanding this. It's simple. But
Yeah.
when you talk down to these kids, and I'm gonna harp back on this, when you talk down to them and talk to them like they are nothing, what do you expect them to do to you?
Yeah. And you have to, well, culturally responsive.
Yes.
Okay, training. That's very important. This all ties in, Tiff. Culturally responsive training, meaning that you have to have this training to relate to the students. We have to school districts. I'm not even gonna name the school district, but the school district where I live at, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. There are school districts where they have a plethora of educators that are diverse. I just did an episode 3, by the way, that talks about representation. They have a plethora of educators who are diverse, who live in the district. They don't hire. They do not hire. And let me say this while I'm at it. They have other educators who are not qualified for certain positions that they promote. I'm going to just leave that alone. I don't want to get too controversial.
I'm gonna
But
say
anyway,
this. I'm gonna say this.
well, let me finish my point. But
This is good.
to your point, some of the teachers, and we have great teachers. We have great teachers. They can't relate to some of those students, which exacerbates the problem. It exacerbates the problem. The students are out of control. They come from some homes that are ridiculous, and then they come to school, and then you have teachers who are not able to handle them. It is a systemic issue. It is a societal issue. Go ahead.
I think that's why in the districts that I am in, that the kids, I can relate to them because literally, for real, I come to school dressed like them, except for, my pants don't hang down, but I come with my t-shirt on. I talk to them. Actually, they call me auntie. I call them niece and nephew, but I can relate to them. But I talk to them when they have an issue or I say this, when they can't hold their anger or they get into it with a kid. Usually the teachers, I'm the first person that they call because I'm usually the one that could calm these kids down. They listen to me. I do go in there and act like a parent. I really do. Like, what you doing? Like, and they're, Miss Tiffany, I'm sorry. No, think about what you're doing before you do it. What are the consequences? And they are running back. But Miss Tiffany, such and such, I know. Pick and choose your battles. These are the things that I teach them.
Yeah.
Because you have to think about, and I tell them all the time, do I want to get that call that you down at juvenile? No, Miss Tiffany. I'm like, I really don't want to get that call. And then the ones that I do get the call when they come back to school. So how was your time down there? And they look like, you just don't know who all I know. Then the other kids, hey, you just don't, Miss Tiffany, Auntie know everybody. The kids appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you have, and I'm gonna just put it out there. Then you have teachers who go against the grain, who feel like, "What is your job? What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
What is my job?" And I'm like, "My job is to help you." You know what I mean?
Your job is to support them.
It's
Yeah.
support them. I'm trying to make sure the kid doesn't throw chairs in your class. I'm trying to make sure the kid doesn't go off on you or anything like that. It's like you have resistance as well. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't understand how there's resistance, but I'm helping. I don't understand how, what can you do to help? But you're part of the problem because you're putting these kids down. You're talking down to these kids. I've heard teachers tell some of these kids, you're not going to be nothing. You're not going to do nothing. Who tells a kid that?
Well, that's incumbent. So let me put my administrator hat on. That's incumbent upon if an administrator hears that, it's incumbent upon the administrator to take care of that.
It is, and we do,
problem.
but you don't understand, and it ties in with the mental health because a kid can be the most smilest kid in the world, but when a teacher or somebody tells them this, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to go down. Now they're going to look at themselves different. Now they might act different. Now they might start doing things different. Now they might acting out. So, I give kids affirmations. I talk to them. I have book in my office. I give them any kid that's having an issue or problem, and I have them write their thoughts down in these books. And I tell them, once you write your thoughts down in this book, you close it. That's it. And it works. It truly works.
So those are some of your strategies that you use.
Those are some of my strategies.
For students. Okay.
Like I tell them some days, be great on purpose today. Don't let nobody steal your joy. What are you talking? And they was like, you know what, Miss Tiffany, you're right. I'm like, don't smile today. Don't let nobody steal your joy. Every day I try to give them something different and I put it outside my door, and that's what we do every single day. I get notes from parents. I posted something this year from a parent who was just saying, "Thank you for what you do for these kids." And I'm like,
Mhm.
but what I do, I feel like I just do because it's in my nature. Like, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I just feel grateful for that. She like, keep doing what you're doing. And one thing I do with my kids, from day one I started doing this position, I follow my kids till they graduate.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, that's
what
dope.
I do. That is something I instilled in me. Imma follow you till you graduate. Whether you make a mistake, we fall down, we gonna get up, we gonna dust it off, and we gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. We
That
gonna do this.
that's dope. That's dope.
And I mean
So,
that.
no, seriously. I
Yes.
mean, we need, you notice I called you an educator, and you are. Everybody has that touches a child in the school system, in a different way, has a role. And
Yes.
it's incumbent upon all of us to execute that role so that we can, have these students and then these kids be productive citizens. And the thing is, most students are. And I think that's not highlighted enough. The overwhelming majority of students who graduate are productive citizens.
They are.
And so I want that to be known. Couple questions, and we'll wrap it up here.
Okay.
Our students in our community, Black children, African American students, and culturally responsive prevention. As someone like yourself who's serving children in our community, I understand that there are unique challenges that Black students face when it comes to, obviously mental health trauma, etc. What should we be doing moving forward? What should be what is it that schools need more of in regards to our children and helping them through this process?
Be a listening ear. Don't
Yeah.
think they playing around. Like, literally, be a listening ear. Tell them you're there for them.
Yeah.
Imma tell you something. One thing I found out about these kids, it's the littlest things that you do. Sometimes they just want a hug.
Facts. Facts. No,
Sometimes they
that's
want a
straight
hug.
facts, Tiff.
Sometimes they just want you to tell, "What's up? Keep it going this morning. Hey," what like, I found out it's the littlest thing, and it's hard for me because sometimes I wish I could take all these kids home with me. I really do.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
know I
yeah.
can't. I know I can't. But one thing that I want these school systems to do is don't let it be that you have to meet a number with mental health to receive funds.
Yeah,
Really be about mental health. Talk about it with these kids. Really
absolutely.
push it because mental health is nothing to play with. People think it's a joke. It's not a joke. It
No.
really is not because you really don't know the trauma that some of these young African American male and females go through, what they've seen, what they've
Mhm.
encountered. No, you really need to listen to them because it's something that you can help them with. And I'll give you a prime example. The kids that were pulled from the house a couple months ago on Roe Avenue, the kids who were being abused by the mother's boyfriend. They had the 5 kids, and then it was the mother
Mm.
had her niece and nephew. And I can't remember if it was the niece or the nephew were being abused. That child had autism. The police went out there the first time, but because the oldest child wouldn't speak, even though she had, evidence, but she was afraid to speak because she thought, okay, if they leave, I'ma be abused or be in trouble. So she
Yeah.
didn't. So she videotaped and put it out on social media, which I commend her
Yeah.
for trying to do so they came back. But
Yeah.
you telling me y'all didn't have enough evidence to remove these kids, so this child had to go through extreme
Yeah.
measures for another child to be abused for y'all to come back out. Now y'all removing the kids. The part that hurt me the most was y'all split all these kids up and put them in individual housing. Are y'all getting them the mental health that they need? Are y'all doing anything? My girlfriend, Shondell Atkinson.
Shout out to Shondell. I know who you talking
Shondell
about.
is their advocate. Shondell reached out
Yeah.
to me and was like, what services can you offer?" I hooked her up with
Yeah.
Ohio Ride,
Yeah.
to get the kid mental health
Ye
because I'm sure there is trauma
yeah.
in all these kids.
Yeah.
Again, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Here it is,
Yeah.
you got those 16 kids in that rural part of Ohio who
Mhm.
how y'all didn't know these people were in this house? How y'all know these people didn't have kids? This lady had 16 kids, and didn't nobody know.
And there was a case, Tiff, and it's when I worked at DPS, but there was a child. It was a couple, and I cannot remember, Lord, I can't remember the child's name and the couple, but it was the teachers called children's services so many times to report on the parents. I can't remember how it was like
You talking
multiple
about
times.
Dakota?
Yes.
Yes.
And long story short,
Yeah.
that baby was going through some stuff and that baby passed away and the parents was abusing that baby. And so again, just think about and that case was just so horrible. I don't even want to
Well,
bring that
that's just
up.
like
But
with
but just but just
with
think
the young
about
man,
just
what, Creechbaum, the young man who just
yeah.
so remember
But
between Montgomery County and what was it, Clark County, they was pointing the fingers at each other because they
but
didn't
my
want to.
point,
Neither one of them wanted to be
right.
responsible. So that's just like I can give you a great example.
But real quick, before you do that, just think
Yes.
about the trauma that those kids at that school
Yeah.
suffered because Dakota died. But anyway, that was a horrible,
I had to
horrible case. Go
report
ahead.
a child who, even though I had to report a child who had bad trauma. Her father was doing things to her. We did the report. I'm gonna tell you
Hmm.
how children's services is. The caseworker called me and said, "Do you really think I need to go out there and investigate?"
Yes.
I said, "That's your job." I said, "If you do not go out and investigate, I'm calling your supervisor." I went on and still called the supervisor. But how do you call and say, "Do you really think I need to go out there and investigate?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So what?
I don't understand how, and Imma say this, children's services has a lot to do with a lot of stuff too, because they don't
Oh
wanna do their
yeah.
job, and they don't wanna do some and I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand you have a heavy caseload, I do. I understand there are a lot of kids, I do. But these kids, again, need the help.
But here's and I'm gonna try to land the plane. You just again you said something else that was profound. Children's Services has a lot of cases and a lot of work.
Mhm.
Overwork, underpaid.
Underpaid.
The government does not care about giving the agencies what they need to succeed.
They
They
don't.
just simply don't. And so again, see, what bothers me about this is as an educator, we on the front lines and we see what's going on in these schools with these kids. And when we're
Yeah.
screaming to the top of our lungs, like, hey, we need this, we need this, we need this, no one listens. And then when the outcomes happen, then they want to blame us, but you're not listening.
Yeah.
And then again, I want to harp back to what I said earlier. We put the same people who make the laws in power that don't support the government agencies or the school system. So to your point, it's a multi-layer cluster, you know what.
I go on my pocket for a lot of things. I do. I reward a lot of my kids. I don't ask for help. I do it because I want to, because I want these kids to know how important they are. You might not feel
Yeah.
like you're important at home, but you're important to me.
Yeah.
So I do things. I buy my kids sometimes lunch. Sometimes I cater it in. Sometimes I've built relationship with some businesses and some of the schools that I work with in their community to where I go get lunch for these kids and I have pizza
Yep.
parties or I do because sometimes I look at it like this. Sometimes this might be the only meal they have.
Yep.
You know, a lot of these kids get tired of eating ramen noodles and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And so this is getting to my final point, Tiff, like solutions. What can we do to,
Mm.
assist and help our students that are in need of not only your services, but their mental health needs. And so this platform that we're doing now, the conversation, putting out information,
Mhm.
shedding light to what is going on in our communities and in our school systems. That's a start because
Correct.
I think a lot of times, it is not being shaped correctly on what's happening. And independent media platforms now more than ever are doing an excellent job of putting out the right information on exactly what's going on
Right.
in any situation. So I think that is what's happening here. But then also taking care of our own. I'm a big advocate. I talk to my thought partners, Tiff. We got to start taking care of ourselves.
We do.
Ain't nobody coming to save us. And
We
what
do.
you were saying, about giving kids, I mean, that's the educator in us. We will give kids the shirt off our
Mhm.
back. We'll talk to parents. We'll direct them to the resources that they need, but we have to build and create our own systems and platforms and or resources to help programs to help our students, because who's going to help us?
But a lot of times people don't know. It starts with your doctor. You can if you don't feel
Oh yeah.
comfortable with talking with the school, talk with your doctor. Your doctor can refer you. And a lot of people don't know this either. If you are referred, you or your child is referred to a therapist, and you feel like that therapist is not a good fit for you, you can ask for another therapist. A lot of
Good
people
point.
are
Yes.
scared to do that. They think, "Oh, they gave me this one, and I feel like I'm helping a therapist." You can request another therapist.
You can get another one.
You can, and it's okay. I've been through that where I had a therapist and I was like, "What you doing? You ain't doing nothing for me. You ain't
Yep.
holding me accountable. You just, well, how was your day? What are you doing for me?" And I found one that was good for me.
Yep.
So that is the biggest thing right there. And a lot of people don't know they can do that because they don't tell them.
So getting the information out to, again, like we said, the different resources that they have. So you just
Yes.
said therapists,
Yes.
doctors.
Yes.
What else?
Getting with your at school, I'm just saying if you don't have a primary doctor or whatever, your kids' schools, you can get with your school counselors. They can get resources. If you are receiving any kind of government assistance, Job Center. Job Center has resources. Oh, man, listen, take
They have
advantage of
everything.
it.
Yeah.
Take advantage of, and also, Imma show it right here. Your computer in your hand, use it. Google.
And that's a whole nother
I know.
episode. But yes, your cell phone, your computer is a
Google.
valuable
We Google
resource. It's a
everything
valuable
else.
resource.
Google
Yeah.
top therapists in it. Google what therapist, or and now I'm last, call your insurance company.
Yes.
Call your insurance company. They will connect you. And depending on your insurance, if you go through Marketplace, you get 6, and Imma say it again, 6 free sessions
Yes.
automatically. They can't deny you 6 free sessions. And a lot of, again, I said the word
Free. Yep. So
free.
again, one last time, Tiff, the referral process for students at your schools that you service, can you go over that just one last time, real
Yes.
briefly?
So if a parent is in need, if they talk to the principal or a school counselor, this counselor can do a referral paper and refer and say, "Hey, I want my child to get therapy services." I will send home the packet. Or if your kid comes to me, just talking to me, and if I feel like, "Hey, you ever thought about going to therapy? Do you feel like you might want somebody to talk to?" Miss Tiffany, I really do. I really do. I will send the packet home and do it that way. Or sometimes I've even called the parent and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
we offer it here. See if your school offers therapy." That's what a lot of parents don't know.
Yep.
It's real good to do that. And then with me, sometimes, depending on the kid, I'll go to the parents. I do. I really
Yeah.
do. I get
No wrong with
permission.
that.
"Hey, do you mind? Can I bring your kid home? Can we sit down and talk and I can give you some information? Or what do you need me to help you?"
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
here for the long haul.
And to your point, those services are offered at the school.
Uh-huh.
I'm very familiar and aware with that, and to the point where the parents, like you said, they don't have to take off work. The students can receive those services at the
Yep.
school, and that's the great thing. And that I am all about developing the whole child, and part of developing the whole child is receiving those ancillary services
Yes.
that they need. So, hey, Tiff, this has been a wonderful
I love
episode.
this. We gotta do this again. We got
We
to.
got to do it again. I'm so glad that you were able to bless me with your presence.
Thank you. No, that's you. And Imma do this because you know what this means. This between me and you. You know what that means.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Yes.
I know. Hey, this is the Truth Meter podcast.
Yep.
Tiff, it was wonderful to have you here.
It was a
Please,
pleasure to be here. Thank you.
absolutely. Hey, please like, subscribe, and comment on this episode. Find me at Spotify, find me at Apple, YouTube, wherever you find your truth, y'all. Take care of yourself. Peace and blessings.